Hello again, VC. This is Alexander from Wax and Wine, and today I wanted to give you guys a short video on a really exciting and enigmatic collection I stumbled upon in a thrift store. So this was kind of wild. I'm digging all the time. I go to record stores, thrift stores, flea markets, wherever. Unfortunately, my schedule doesn't work for garage sales just because I work on weekends as well. But I do make up for it in the thrift department and other stores. So I go into a thrift store I'd been in many times, very close to one of my accounts. And, it's just like you're there, so let's go check it out. And I could tell that the racks were a little fuller. It was a magazine styled rack, so you could see everything was tiered down. So I could see the records sitting out, and there were some other guys there looking at records, but I could see this, and I thought, if this guy passes on this record, I got to take a look. And that was Gabor Szabó's More Sorcery. So his response to The Sorcerer, that late 60s Boston live show at the workshop. Really phenomenal stuff. I really like the way that this was recorded. I've only spent a little bit of time recently with these 4 pickups. I already had a copy of this, but this is instantly a cleaner copy. Now here's the other thing you tackle at thrift stores in the record department. If I find a record, right? We all know the game. If you find the record, that's one hurdle. It's amazing. You find a jacket. Okay, is the record actually in there? Okay, awesome. It's in there. And then what condition? Frequently, it's like a car ran over them and then backed up and ran over them again, or they just like threw it along, a bunch of asphalt. They're scratched, they're pockmarked, all kinds of issues. Every record I'm showing you, aside from the jackets, the records are very clean, very clean. I did pass on a few records in this collection that were not so clean. A lot of them come with the original inners, but there you go, Impulse. So very cool. That's that red band label, but very happy to have that. Now, when I was standing next to the other person who was digging through, it was 2 other guys, and I didn't realize what they were standing in front of. So he had already passed over the Gabor Szabó, but the next record he passed, I was like, oh, I'm in the clear. This is crazy that these are just sitting out. Boom, the Jody grind. Okay, so you do see a little bit of wear on here, but otherwise I see just so clean. My goodness, the mono cut, right? Horace Silver's Jody grind quintet and sextet. Aside from the silly photograph there that kind of marks that Liberty era, this is still Reed Miles' design. This has a whole host of really incredible players. You got Woody Shaw blowing his brains out there on the trumpet, Tyrone Washington killing it on the sax. We got James Spalding. I'm a real sucker for jazz flute, so that's really nice. So I find those 2 first, and now I go, okay, I got to dive in here and see what else I find. So now, in no particular order, I start to find all kinds of cool stuff. This not being the coolest, but I'm a fan of Kai Winding. It's not going to be like the first thing I put on, but I definitely don't turn it down. So on Verve Records, this one doesn't have the original inner, but just like pristine, never played record. In addition to, I come up with this Charlie Byrd record. Now, this is a gentleman known very well for his bossa nova, is just a king of jazz guitar, prolific artist, put out many recordings. So I come across these quite frequently, not this record, but just in general, and I don't really pony up, so this is, embarrassingly enough, my first record. Now, this is on that teal Riverside, so a little bit later press, not an original stereo, but again, pristine, and I paid $2 for every one of these records, so that's a little bit easier to bargain with, right? Because if I found, let's say, Charlie Byrd, I'm probably going to pay $8 to $10 a record, so why not get it for 2? The next one, John McLaughlin, and this is kind of where I start to get a cue because of what I'm looking at. This whole collection belongs to each other, right? There's Stevie Wonder, there's Aretha Franklin, there's a lot more soul artists and R&B artists, but I kind of am trying to connect the dots, and I believe, if anything, I'm looking at maybe a disc jockey or someone who worked at a radio station in the area and just kind of gave up on the collection. This is a 72 recording on Polydor, so it is a white label promo, and again, pristine. So this is just insane, right? And I find a couple pop records too. I'm a big fan of the Canadian songwriter Miss Joni Mitchell. So Court and Sparks off of Asylum. That's a trade-up copy over my original Beat to Death Goodwill copy. And then I find the Ladies in the Canyon on Reprise, and this thing is super clean. Again, kind of a upgrade copy over what I had. The other thing is I'm not at a Goodwill. So, right, we know Goodwills can sometimes get a little crazy with what they're asking. I've been to some Goodwills where they charge $9.99 or $12.99 a record. It's it bothers me. It's a little irksome. And then in addition to that, at Goodwills, you always find stickers, and those stickers are hard to get off the covers. And try as I might, sometimes I damage my records when I'm peeling off that annoying sticker. So that was kind of nice to know I got this whole collection and didn't have to worry. Ornette Coleman, Skies of America. Again, this is kind of a later issue recording on Columbia. This is, again, very clean. I do have an original inner on that. I like that we have the 198 sticker on there, our little price tag. An artist here who I never got to try. I mean, very, very cool when I tell you the lineup for the Miroslav Vitus. So the Czech bassist. This is Mountain in the Clouds rather. But this features everybody. Joe Henderson, Joe Chambers, Herbie Hancock. Who else do we got? Jack DeJohnette on the drums, but John McLaughlin as well. It's a pretty killer record. Apparently this is like third pressing of it when it gets to Atlantic. It's kind of much rarer in its other original forms. Found this, thought this would be useful. I don't know if I missed out on some other records, but I found an original inner, which I'm always looking at Blue Note, so it's nice. It'll help complement one of my records I bought, obviously without an inner. Found this, was super pumped. I have a friend who told me to look out for this record. Again, a little ring wear, but otherwise a pristine copy of Wayne Shorter's Native Dancer. This is super cool. And then that was, as if that weren't cool enough, I found Supernova, right, as the period as we're heading into kind of what would become Weather Report vein. Very, very clean. We have a $2.50 price tag on there, but a stereo copy from Liberty. Just awesome. $2 for each of these. Can you believe it? I found an artist that I thought I would take a chance on just because the cover looked so cool. I didn't know what to expect. So Mr. Robin Kenyatta, Gypsy Man. So this one looked super hip, not super desirable, but funky, jazz-y. That was cool. And then I also found Terra Nova from him, DJ copy as well, promotional copy. And then the last record. So I dug through the whole collection. There was a bunch of stuff I passed on. There's a few things that weren't in great condition. And then I had to do a double take, right? So I just made sure I didn't miss anything. And sure enough, I had missed one incredible record. And yeah, it's a little bit wild when I saw it because that's something I never seen at a thrift store, and frequently I've never even seen those records in a record store, right? If you do see them on the wall, they're definitely a lot of money. So I have a Strata East record, Larry Ridley's Sum of the Parts, and awesome bassist. Now I did spin this one again, pristine 1975 record on Strata East. It's a very desirable record just because they obviously didn't press a ton. So there you go, Strata East. That was the B-side, but I have the A-side as well. Yeah, awesome. So his version of Monk's Well You Needn't, that's just a rad piece. So again, that is incredible stuff. So every one of those records, $2, phenomenal, couldn't believe it. Wanted to know what your best find was at a thrift store or best score at a flea market, yard sale, what have you. So let me know in the comments, and until next time, we'll see you soon, okay?